Hi guys, it's Maya here at BlackCat, and I am going to do the reading on UFOs that I promised to do. And I'm finally feeling just well enough, I think, to get this reading done, which I'm really excited about. Like everyone, well, I presume everyone, I find it very interesting what's been happening. And I'll give you some of my thoughts. If I can't get them all in this one video, then I might do a series. It might work out better that way, but because there's so many things I want to ask. But anyway, let's get the ball rolling. And I will put the names of any decks I use in the description box because right now I don't remember the names and I need to find the lid for the boxes that these came in. So I begin by, I gotta kind of, get relaxed and tune in. And I depend upon God. It's what I call the divine, the Holy Spirit, my favorite helper and comforter. And I ask the Holy Spirit to please help me to give y'all a good reading, to help me to relate the truth, to open my mind to just be the messenger. Now, some of you left questions in the community tab for me when I noted that I would be doing a reading on this. And so I've written down the questions regarding UFOs that you were curious about. And they're great questions. So thank you for sharing and asking, sharing your questions and asking them so I can include them in the reading. I think it's a fascinating time that we're living in. And despite all the hardship, you guys, it's work. But I believe that we are going toward a better world. I really do. So don't let all the trouble get you down in the dumps. And take a break from the news when you need to. Sometimes doing I know a lot of us just read the headlines, kind of get the gist of it. That makes it a bit easier. So it takes me a moment to kind of zone in to the topic that I'm reading on. And I'm shuffling my cards. Now, I had done an earlier reading on UFOs, and you can find them in the playlist. I will look that up later after I put this video up and put it in the description box in case you want to check that one out too. It's older. Since I've been ill, I haven't been able to do as many, any readings really, except for here recently. So I'm just asking the Holy Spirit to help me to read accurately and clearly. And I'm asking what we need to know about the UFOs and the disclosure that we just recently had with the hearings, and Congress, no less. That's pretty exciting. And I was really glad to see it as a bipartisan effort. Okay. Now, the first question I'm going to ask has to do with and it was one of the questions that was also asked in the community tab, was when were we going to meet them? Is there going to be a coming together, or are we going to meet them soon? Is there going to be that time of communication? And I'll just give you an intuitive sense that I get without the cards. I think it's coming. And I know a lot of other people might be saying that, but I too have always intuitively felt like one day it would happen and will happen. But I think it's a little sooner than we might think. I think it's in our lifetimes. And I think it's one of the reasons why we're having more and more sightings since the 90s. The Phoenix Lights, the Michigan Lights. Look it up if you haven't heard of them. There's so much interesting stuff. And I'll try and share the videos and stuff that I start finding on the channel in the community tab area for you guys to check out. So, is there an approaching, how can I phrase that? Is there an approaching time when there will be clear contact that's not just visual? Oh, there's something unusual flying. That's not really contact. But is there going to be a meaningful contact that happens with the public and not just government hidden programs? Are they going to, I guess my question is, are they going to reach out to the greater populace in an even more direct way than just letting us see their unusual lights and figure in the sky or coming out of the water? Is there something, let's say a date, a lunch date approaching that is in our lifetimes? Okay. Is there an approaching contact, meeting, conversation coming that is with the public, that is undeniable? Is that on its way? Okay, let's see what we get. Okay, the first card I'm pulling is the Four of Wands. Yes. And it looks positive and it feels positive, not scary, okay? Now, the key words for this card is harmony. It has a lot to do with the home, often, and the domestic day-to-day life of people. So it really does lend me that sense of the public, of your neighbors. We're neighbors, right? We're neighbors with them. And to tell you the truth, I have gotten this card when in my private readings regarding this matter more than once. And this can also mean reunion. This can be a party. It's a celebration. You can even see that on there. Okay. So I believe the answer to this is yes. That yes, it is coming in our lifetime. That broad communication with the public is coming. Another thing about this card, it's victory. I believe that certain things have prevented them from being able to share as much as they would like. And frankly, I think it's been through our government wanting to retain their powers. But I think that that is not going to remain that way. This looks like, oh, happy day. Hey, it's a family reunion. You have cousins on planet so-and-so in this galaxy here, and it's a happy thing. But I'm going to pull another card because I typically read in pairs. Just set this down. This deck is kind of slippery. What goes with it? I get the King of Wands. And the King of Wands with the Four of Wands. How interesting. All wands. It's bubbly energy. It's excitement. It's activity. It's fiery. And in the way that like creative energy is often with the wands. But it's active. So again, I believe that these two cards show that it will happen. Now, who's this King of Wands? Well, King of Wands is a very passionate person. Like I've said before, Wands are just creative. And it also is courage. I think it's a leader, and maybe not unlike Mr. Bruce, I think his name is. And darn, I'm not remembering the other names of the two fellows in the military that were part of the congressional hearing. But I think it's also a card it says of leadership because it's king. But here it shows to me that it's going to take courage. It's going to take somebody that's got some guts, just like these guys who are very reputable, that have served in our military and served us. I think we're going to see more of them, more of that type, maybe particularly more male in this matter, that are going to be instrumental, I think, on the human side of things, on our side of the pond, so to speak, or galaxy as it may be, that are setting this reunion, this celebration and meeting to occur in a harmonious way, because they have the guts to come out and try to be honest with us as much as they can with respect to, the laws that they have to follow. They're trying to be honorable, and I'm being shown that I feel like these guys are for real and that they are honorable, and that by their actions, we will end up having contact in our lifetimes. And I think there's more people involved, and I would say in form of government or like these men that came forward that were in the military that are very distinguished and reputable. There's a feeling to me that this isn't just one, but more better leadership coming forward, literally, like these men have recently. I think there's going to be more of them. Okay? I also want to say that it's because of the courage that they have to face the slings and arrows to undermine their reputations, like trying to expose Gruce's or Gresh's, again, forgive me with the names, but his history of having PTSD. How dare they do that to a hero? And I'm not one of these people that uses hero all over the place. But those people that come forward being threatened, their families being threatened, they have made comments that people have faced threats to their lives and worse, if you get my meaning, because YouTube's gotten really weird about words that aren't even curse words that they don't like, but that some people may have even lost their lives concerning this matter. I don't know. I hope not. But I believe what these men that came forward in the hearing have said. But look at that. I think that because of their efforts, and I believe there's more that's coming from people like them, that we will have a celebration of contact and like, wow, really? Like I said, you're our cousins from so and so. That's what it's really like that it's going to make a lot of sense too, I think, to a lot of people. We're all one. We might look different, we might have different points of view, things like that, but when it comes down to it, we're all one. We are all connected. And I think that's what we're going to find out. Hey, you might call me an alien, but I'm really not that alien. I'm just a cousin, if you will, from another area. But I'm a life form. I'm a person, not person, but I'm a being. I have no idea how they refer to themselves, but I get that family feeling from this. And I get that that's what they want us, and that the Holy Spirit, that God wants us to understand, is that there are not some, that there remains a connection, that there remains a family type of a bond. And that's what human beings, with our illusion of separation, because we're on this planet where we've forgotten who we are. We've forgotten that we're spirit in a body where we don't remember really the true nature of our being. And we've forgotten a little too much. And I think this pushes us to get back to remembering also who we are. That we're not alone. We got, like I said, cousins to go, in another galaxy. That it's a huge family, God's family. Or whatever word you use, we're part of a divine family. Next two cards are super interesting. First card I'm getting is the sneaky card of the Seven of Swords. Okay, what I was saying about this Seven of Swords is it's sneaky, it's always shady. And there's another key word on here that I've never thought of before, but it's ripoff. It's also about being stealthy and cunning, but all in a dishonest way. And we get the world with it. So who's ripping off the world? Who's being dishonest with the world? Governments? Maybe. You think? I think they know a lot more, but they're treating us like children. And maybe not even that. I think they just want to keep control of us and make us not realize a bit more of what we're meant to realize when we are here on this planet. And that is that we aren't just a pointless existence working and dying on a planet, but that there's more to us. And I think that when we do have that wonderful reunion, we are going to realize more about who we really are, why we come here. I think there will be a lot of confirmation that many of us intuitively have already kind of sussed out, or some of us dreamt about. This also, with the world, makes me feel like this attempt to keep us in the dark is going to end, because the world is the final card in the tarot. And it's also about freedom. It's like, man, you went through the rough parts, you persisted, and you have come through, and you've rung all the bells. You know, you've made it through. It's kind of like when you map out a journey, and it starts with the Fool, and you never know what to expect, but you learn along the way, and you grow and you mature along the way, and you learn a lot more about yourself. Well, I think it's not going to be any different concerning once we make contact. It's going to be another exciting understanding more about who we really are and what's been going on that's not so kosher. And just how clever they've been in keeping it from us all and keeping us from the freedom of understanding more about just how powerful we really are. And when I say powerful, I don't mean that in an ugly way. I mean it in a beautiful, divine way. That we haven't even begun to contemplate while we're in this physical form. And it's important for the sake of this planet that we do understand these things, because I think we'll end up taking care of our planet better the way we're supposed to be stewards of. And that is what I am getting from these two cards. The bells are ringing off that we've been ripped off, we've been lied to, and it's all been very sneaky. Governments have been doing sneaky stuff to the world, to the rest of us, regarding this matter. It's not the aliens, quote unquote, or the UFOs that are being sneak. It's the human beings that are acting out of the lowest and the densest and the most ignorant, greedy, fearful energy to keep the man's keeping us down, as they say. Yes, indeed. So they can control us. Because let me tell you something. You can look in some paintings that go way back, and I think it may have been Michelangelo. I can't remember which one, but there's a little UFO in the painting. And I'll see if I can find it. And once again, I will post it in the community tab so that you can see it once I find it. They've been around here for a long time. Look, like a lot of people say, if they had wanted to have done with us or enslave us, they would have. The only ones that I know of that's done that have been other human beings, governments. I think they want us to wake up, but I think they have to be careful about overstepping into our awakening. I think, if you know what I mean, they don't want to. What I'm getting is like mess up our awakening. There is an awakening that's coming. So let's look at these 4 cards together. And yes, there's a communion coming, and it's going to be helped by courageous leadership that is honest and active in making us aware, and what will be revealed is a lot of shady business that has been put upon the rest of the world from realizing a greater freedom and a truth that even I can't imagine. I wish I could to give you all the words that and the feelings that I'm pulling from this. But it's going to be liberating. It's going to be very liberating and also probably annoying when we realize, and that's putting it lightly, about how much we've been misled and given to fear. I think we've been given to fear the wrong source. I think the liars are the ones that we should fear, who want to keep their thumb on us. They've been visiting us for centuries. We have all kinds of ancient artwork that depicts it. And if they wanted to destroy us and enslave us, they would have. The only ones doing that, once again, are the governments. And other authority figures that have an agenda, especially certain belief systems. Okay, let's get to some more questions. Let's try and again, I'm never good. I'm not one of those people that is blessed with being able to discern time through the tarot. But what I want to try is, how about we ask if within the next 5 years, we will have that great meeting, shall we say, with our cousins. And don't worry, I'll be looking to see if there are some life forms that are not so nice, because I'm sure some of them are not as advanced, but I'm not thinking that they are the ones that have been trying to get our attention. When you have ill intent, you don't usually try to get attention. Usually you try and sneak, right? Just like that old Seven of Swords. So let's just think about it. I ask the Holy Spirit, in the next 5 years from 2023, which is right now, will that reunion, communion, take place? So, within the next 5 years, any time within the next 5 years, any time from now until 28, will there be a communion with our cousins from different galaxies? So within the next, these cards are slippery, 5 years, within the next 5 years, will that meeting, that family reunion, take place? So within the next 5 years, will that reunion take place? Within the next 5 years, will the reunion, communion take place? I'd like to give the cards a good shuffle. All right, let's see what we got. Well, I'm getting the Two of Swords, so there's a block. There's a block here. And just to let you know, the key words on this card are decisions, waiting, solitude, blocked, as I said, balance. It can be balance. So I'm going to really need some clarification with another card, because it could be there's going to be a block. I do believe that will be resistance from those in power that really don't want us to know more and to be liberated from the control of governments in a negative way. Governments can be good, but I think the ones that want to keep it a certain way that isn't good have a very vested interest. So I do think that is part of it. Here's our second card. Oh, it's the bully card. Trying to make sure I don't lose that deck sliding all around. So this looks like that. Definitely, there are people that have a vested interest. And unfortunately, I think that it might take a little longer than we would like. I think we'll still be seeing them. Maybe we'll be seeing them even more. But as far as the big reunion, it might take us a bit longer because we're dealing with forces that have a vested interest to keep control and to keep us under thumb from knowing too much. Now, the key words on the Five of Swords card is war, hostility, dishonesty, theft, victory through cruelty, and hurt. So when we look at them too, we've got a card about there are decisions. And to me, this is about the people that are interested in the agenda of war, of keeping a domineering power, not a power in its true best form of enlightenment and freedom, because it wouldn't mean chaos. Now, they want to make us fear that we would have absolute chaos, blah, blah, blah. I don't think we would. It would have already happened. We've got to take back the night. We've got to trust our own intuitions and not believe the lies that they want to tell us. Because believe you me, use your own gut. They've already been visiting us, as I've said. We've got proof from reports that go back centuries, and artwork, and more. And if they really were wanting to do it, it would have been done. Again, the ones that want to do that are the ones that are controlling the government. So I think within the next 5 years, maybe a bit too soon, because I think they're still going to be very resistant to allowing that, or preventing it, trying to prevent it. I also think that war may be something that they're trying to avoid. And I think that means, I think these beings know that things could be worse for us if they push it too soon. Because they know that there's a great deal of cruelty. A great deal of cruelty here on this planet. And especially if you try to reveal things they don't want revealed, because they want to keep control. But I do think it's coming within 5 years, maybe not that soon, because there's things that have to be worked out. And there's a great deal of resistance from those that have a bad agenda and want to keep wars in place and things like that. Dishonesty. They don't want to lose that power that they've had over us so soon. Now, the next set of cards I've just drawn, the first one was, again, we saw it earlier, is the Seven of Swords. And so with these 4 cards, we're getting theft, stealth, cunning, rip-off, and dishonesty. And it goes right along with the ones of war, hostility, dishonesty, again, theft, again, and victory by those means, by unfair means, shall we say, and by painful means. So if we look at these cards that I'm asking about the next 5 years, that would we possibly be able to have that reunion, communion with them? Let's see here. I think we see that there's going to be some exposure with the sun. When I get the sun, and especially when we have all these negative cards, it means this nonsense here, these negative blocks that are dishonest, that are war-oriented, that are hurtful and sneaky, are going to be exposed in ways we think we know now. I think somehow within the next 5 years, we're going to better understand just how they're blocking it, just how much dishonesty. If this sun card wasn't here, then I don't think that any greater truth that is blocking that ability to have the reunion be sooner, or the communion, shall we say, the meeting. I think we would see that we wouldn't be getting it. Now we're being shown why, but I think we're going to further really understand why over the next now to 5 years ahead, 2028, again, that it's important that we understand why it's not happening as fast. We have to understand that it's not on their end, it's on our end. And that we need to realize with the clarity and the astringent of sunlight to know that the dishonesty is going on that prevents us from having a sooner connection. I think that they've wanted to and have tried. But I think on our end, they've been told no by those in government that are part of the bunch that are preventing it. But this gives me hope because it's exposing them. And once these folks get exposed, I think it will break down their ability to keep us blocked off from having that. But it is important that the world begins to wake up and realize. And I think that's what the sun does. Does the sun not wake you up in the morning? It does. And this is also a card of waking, enlightenment. An enlightenment of 3 cards that deal with blocking. Well, this one's the one that deals with basically blocking and having to wait, and that there are decisions, but it's because of dishonesty and lying and negative self-interest. And we need to learn more about that and just how much of that. And I think, again, the courageous dudes, and I'm sure other folks, ladies, however others identify, I think are going to be part of helping us to understand that. And that's why in the other reading I did, we got the King of Wands energy. That is courageous human beings telling us the truth. And I think they're going to be put through the mill in trying to be discredited by the liars who want to have control. But it's not going to stay that way. And that's important. And I think it's also important for us to have the time to wake up and realize things in a pace, with a pace, so that we can digest and think about this before it just happens. What do they say? we're all excited to get to the destination, but it's the journey getting you there that's just as important as the destination or the goal itself. And there's knowledge that we as a world need to understand so we can change in the healthy way, so we can get and appreciate that final destination when it happens. Okay, the next question was, do they look like, has Hollywood has made them out to be like E.T., or maybe do they look a little bit more like us, you know? And I think that the answer I get intuitively is some resemble human beings a bit more in certain ways, and others don't. And I just got that even though some may not resemble human beings, it doesn't mean that they're evil. And we need to also be able to grow and understand that. Maybe the ones that look more like humans are the ones that we need to fear. I'm just kidding. But I'm getting that there's a mixture intuitively. Okay, now let's focus and see what the cards want to say. So I ask again, what do we need to know here? I'm getting that there is diversity. Okay. Are some of the visitors to that we see flying in craft, do some of them look more human-like? Do some of, I hate to use the word alien, but for the sake of distinction at this point in time, I will refer and use that word. Do some of them look more like human beings? Or do more of them look very different? Okay. The question is equally as important to getting the clarity of an answer. You need a clear question to get a clear answer, or a clearer answer. So let's see what we get. And I'll have like 2 more questions, and then I'll have to close this reading down and do some more series on this, because I have a family that needs to use the kitchen, and this is where I have to be out here in this open space and share the space. So, do some of these visitors are cousins from other galaxies? Do some of them look more human? I get the King of Cups. And this card deals with the key words are love, compassion, generosity, creativity, and paternal. Okay. The second pairing. Here we have the diversity in the Seven of Cups. So I feel like, yes, some of them look more human-like and are highly compassionate, paternal, if you will, meaning that they are very much caring and sensitive that they have the ability to feel feelings, love, sorrow, and there are others that are, if you can see the card, there's a human looking face up here. Here's one that's cloaked, maybe just more of an energy form and not really with a body per se, maybe just an energetic body. Maybe some are more reptilian where the snake is concerned. We have one here that looks like a dragon. Maybe some will look more like what you see on Star Trek, actually. That might be kind of a better guide of understanding. But I get that there's a variety, just like there's a variety in the human family. Though we're human, not all of us have black hair. Not all of us have dark skin. Not all of us look alike. We're diverse. So I get that there are some that look more human with the King of Cups. But I get also that there is a great diversity. Okay. Now, I want to look at the question, are some of them already here amongst us? And that cloaking figure in the Seven of Cups kind of makes me think yes. But let's just dig a little deeper. Are some aliens already amongst us? I feel kind of like a jerk for using that word, but I don't mean to. Okay, I'm trying to shuffle this really well. Are some of them already amongst us and we don't even notice them walking down the street or, reading a newspaper? Who does that anymore? I don't know. Uh, are some of them already amongst us? And by that, I don't just mean coming in and out of water, but like talking with us, being more interactive. I get the devil, and I get the Wheel of Fortune. Now let's look at the devil first. And there you're dealing with materialism, slavery, addiction, stuck, it says. Because usually it can mean like stuck, like you're not able to break free. If you look at the devil, there's the chain, right? So there's a lack of freedom. And the Wheel of Fortune, which brings change. And the keywords on it are luck, change, like I said, movement, shift, improvement, and fate. I don't think they want to, okay. I don't think they want to come and be part of an enslaved bunch of human beings. And I think that they kind of think, no, that's really sugarcoating it. I think that they believe that we are too controlled by powers that don't have our best interests at heart. And I don't think that until that changes, that they really want to come and be part of the society, or our neighbor next door, that close. So I think they prefer to let us know that they're about. I think that they do visit the planet for their purposes, whatever. But I think they do it at arm's length, so to speak. In my opinion, I don't think that they want to be, it's not appealing to them yet. And it won't be until this is changed that there is more freedom and there isn't this kind of ogre that's controlling us with things like consumerism and drug abuse and not providing enough mental health care. I think they're taking a good look at the war, the dishonesty, and saying, we're watching you, but we don't want to jump right in and live in that kind of an environment. They prefer a more peaceful and truly free way that they already have, that we don't, and that we don't even really realize how controlled we are. Okay, next to last question. Why are they revealing themselves so much more now? Why are they revealing themselves so much more now? And will that increase? I'm curious. Will we see them more and more? I think we're going to, because I think they're not going to want to step all over the military industrial complex toes and be shot down out of the sky, etc. Many of them have, I think, avoided that. But don't worry. In the next series, I'll look at that. Well, it's not the next series, but in the next set of videos, I will look at that. But I think they're trying not to have experienced that unpleasantry. But I do believe that we will see an increase, because I think that they're trying to gently, as they can, without creating hardship, get us ready and help us along to understand what's been going on. Okay, so again, why are we seeing more of them now? Again, that was a question on the community tab. Why are they revealing themselves to us more now? The 10 of Cups. They're getting us ready for a big family reunion. Again, it's a positive. And I do think, look at the sky. See all those cups? And look at the family. They're not scared. They're like, wow! And the kids are dancing. And mom and dad are like, hey! And their arms are out. And to me, it's not in fear. It's in welcome. So I think they're preparing us for that time when we can really connect and they can safely, on their end, be safe and not be shot down, etc., and put in a bottle and stuck in some secret area. Who knows what? That's you get what I'm saying. I think they're getting us ready. And that's what it's about. And the key words on the 10 of Cups are happiness, happy end, completion, family, harmony. The pairing card that will go with that is the Devil. And to me, it's again because we're free of this. They're preparing us to realize how controlled we are, and in an unhealthy way for the planet and ourselves, so that we can drop these chains, so that we can make the change on this planet that we need to push for. They're trying to help us along. And that's why they're showing themselves more now, because I believe it's to prepare for a day where we can see them, connect with them, and not have this business going on. I just want to draw a few more cards on that. Oh, the Two of Cups. I get this one also. Again, they're waiting for us to push for a change to make that possibility a more harmonious and safe one for them, because they very much want to reach out to us, but not in a harmful way, not in the way that we're used to of, hey, I'm really interested in being your friend, but never mind the gun behind my back. Right? This is about real friendship and establishing a friendly contact, a harmonious one. So you can read Two of Cups, love, some cases romance, but it's on relationship and building a bond of trust and honesty. And here's the second card that comes with the pair, which is the Page of Pentacles. And the Page of Pentacles talks about financial opportunity, news about money, new venture. It's also things of the earth. And I think it is a new time of about learning about each other. And I also think it's going to be about us physically learning more about their world and the physicality of what's our environment. How do they deal? We have economy, right? Well, how do they live? How can we improve the way we live by learning from them, just like we learn from our families and from other people? And that's what they're getting us ready for. So again, let's look at these cards. Why are they showing themselves to us so much now? Because they're getting us ready. And they're trying to help us to become more free from oppressive, controlling, dominating forces so that we can have better lives and relationships, I think, not only with them, but within the world, so we don't have all this war and suffering that's needless. Last question, which is, do they have advanced cloaking and uncloaking tech? My intuitive answer is yes, because I think we've seen it in some of the footage where we can see that they can appear and they can disappear. But let me ask, do they use cloaking technology? Do visitors to Earth use cloaking technology? Do visitors to Earth use cloaking technology? Yes, the Eight of Wands. This deals with fast-moving energy. I feel like also interdimensional energy coming and going. The Eight of Wands is also a, where they're putting energy toward a target or toward a specific means. So I feel like, yes, they do. And they might utilize interdimensional means of movement because this is a card about energy. So, yes, I think it's part of their technology. Movement, travel, news, speed, swiftness. Yeah. Second card, because I do read in pairs, right? And I get the Five of Cups. And you might be like, why the Five of Cups? Why this card of loss and sorrow? I think it's because they've lost craft and that they have lost some of their occupants otherwise. So I feel like they're trying to avoid it. Yeah. Clarification, the Knight of Wands and the Five of Wands. Because I think they've been shot down. This is a way to protect themselves. Because the Knight of Wands doesn't foolhardily just show up and get shot out of the air, so to speak. The Knight of Wands is quick, but also using discernment. They're not foolhardy. So they're moving and they're moving about, but and they're doing it to protect themselves from us and our weaponry that can try to bring them down. Because I think that they have been capable of feeling sorrow and capable of feeling loss of those that have been shot down. I think they learned the lesson, so to speak, that they would have to go at some point and develop this technology so that they wouldn't lose their folks. So our keywords for the Knight of Wands is passion, movement, motivation, fire, and action. It can even be less, but I don't think in this case that would make sense. And the Five of Wands, again, Wands energy, deals with fight, conflict, opposition, change, rivalry, and conflict, competition. But in this case, to me, this is like a dogfight, if you will, what they call a dogfight in the air. And they're trying to keep from losing their ships because I don't think they want us to have technology that we are not mature enough and ethical enough to use appropriately. So, yes, they do cloak themselves. All right? I'm going to cut it there because it's at an hour. I might split this into two parts. We'll see. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. I certainly did. I'll see you again. Please give a thumbs up if you enjoyed this content and share. I would really appreciate it because it would help my channel, which has been losing viewers since I've been ill. So please give it a thumbs up, give it a share, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks, guys. Bye.